What is up guys, it's Cal, and in this video I'll be doing an overview of the Siege of Boralus dungeon. Now this dungeon is mythic only, so you can't just queue up for it in the random dungeon finder, but you of course can find a group for it in the group finder if you'd like, and it is accessible to both Horde and Alliance. Now the prerequisites for this dungeon is that for Alliance you must complete the achievement The Pride of Kulturos, which is completing Jaina Proudmoore's story. It ends in a quest to complete the Siege of Boralus dungeon, and then for Horde you have to complete the At the Bottom of the Sea step in the Horde campaign. Now if you're curious as to where this dungeon is located, it's under Boralus Harbor. I'm showing it to you right here. Horde can pretty easily get to it if you just stay low underwater and then get to the portal from there. But just like my other overview videos, I'm going to speed up the footage so it's not like a 30-minute long video, and then I'll talk more in depth at each of the boss fights on what you're supposed to do. Also at the end, I'll be showing the final Jaina Proudmoore cinematic if you're interested in that. So let's get started. The first boss of Siege of Boralus is an ogre named Chopper Redhook, so immediately when the fight starts and periodically through the fight, he will fixate someone, and this is called On the Hook. If he fixates you, you of course want to run away, but he will get the stacking buff that increases his movement speed, and that will stay with him through the entire fight. Now there are bombs that spawn in the fight and tick down. You of course don't want to be standing by these bombs when they go off or they'll hurt, but if he fixates you, then you want to drag him over one of these bombs if you can, and this will reset his speed buff. He'll cast a quick ability called Meat Hook where he'll face a direction and throw his hook. If he hits a target, then he'll pull them to him and cause a lot of physical damage to them. He immediately follows this up with an ability called Gore Crash. He smashes the ground, dealing physical damage to melee and knocking them back, so melee wants to make sure that they get away from this. There will be a cannon barrage through the fight. Don't stand in the faint blue areas, and on top of all that there will be ads that spawn in the fight, so make sure you take them out ASAP. The next boss in the dungeon is Dread Captain Lockwood. The tank should have her faced away from the group for her ability Clear the Deck. It's a frontal AoE cone that knocks back players. Once she reaches full energy, she'll withdraw back to her ship and 3 adds will spawn. Through this phase, she'll do a Dread Volley ability which will cover a majority of the room, so you want to dodge this. Now as far as the adds for you to kill the cannoneer first and cleave off of him, because when he dies, he'll drop a giant cannon for someone in your party to pick up, aim it towards Captain Lockwood, and fire it so she enters the fight again. And then you pretty much just repeat that until she dies. The third boss in the dungeon is Hadal Dark Fathom, and I want to start off by saying that you want to clear the entire room before you pull him, because he'll pull everything in the room if you don't. Now this guy only has a few fairly simple abilities. The first is Break Water. He'll cast through the fight. This will put blue swirls under everyone's feet that you just want to get out of. Then he'll leave behind an ice patch that persists through a majority of the fight that you also don't want to stand in. Then the tank wants to face him away from the party because of his Crashing Tide ability. It's a frontal line that also leaves behind the same ice patches. And then finally, when he reaches 100 energy, he'll cast Tidal Surge. He'll pick one side of the room to fill with waves, and then they'll move to the opposite side of the room. You want to use the statue in the middle of the room to block the waves, so just stand behind that statue to block the incoming waves from hitting you. Then you just repeat that until he's dead. Then finally, Vikath. So this fight is not one where you directly attack the boss. This fight will start with the boss spawning a Demolishing and a Gripping Tentacle. You want to kill the Demolishing Tentacle ASAP. Every time a Demolishing Tentacle comes up, you want to switch to it and kill it. And then the tank also wants to make sure it's in melee range of the Demolishing Tentacle, or it'll keep smacking the ground and wipe your group. Once it's dead, switch to the Gripping Tentacle. It's holding an engineer that you need to finish this fight. Once the Gripping Tentacle is dead, the engineer will start repairing the cannon. It takes about 5 seconds, but after he does so, someone wants to jump into the cannon, aim it at the boss, and shoot. You'll only be able to shoot it once before the cannon's destroyed. So after you shoot it at the boss, you then want to move either to the right or the left of the room, because you do this 3 times before he dies. But make sure don't stay in the water for too long or you become fish food. Now throughout the fight, he'll cast Call of the Deep. This will impact about half of your platform, so make sure to not get hit by it. And then the other ability is Putrid Water, which will put a blue ring around you. Make sure to not be standing by someone so the healer can dispel it off of you. And that's the entire fight. So there you have it, Siege of Boralus. Remember, this is a dungeon that both Alliance and Horde can do. You just need to hit the specific criteria before you're able to do so. But anyways guys, if this video is helpful at all to you, you can leave a like on it, you can sub to the channel for more videos like this, and I'll see you guys in the next video.
You've done well, heroes, but Boralus is not out of danger yet. Speak with me when you're ready to put an end to Ashvane's fleet.
Our harbor defenses won't be enough.
father's pendant.
For generations, the heart of the Kul-Tiran fleet. I thought that hope had returned with this seal. That perhaps I could call the fleet home, as your father did. I was wrong. It was never meant for me.
There you are.
We're home, Pandred! Captain! Pirates in our harbor! All hands! Let's show them what Kul-Tirans are made of! Lady Ashbane! Your orders! Lady Ashbane!
It seems hope has returned. With you, Lord Admiral.